Well, that's going at the beginning of the episode. All right.
Good. You want to do that at the beginning of the episode?
Yeah, we always put something silly in
Yeah,
there.
I love it.
Yeah.
Meet the Pressers with Matt Mallory and Klint Macro. Brought to you by Public Safety and Education and the Trigger Pressers Union.
Meet the Pressers is brought to you by Mantis. Mantis X helps shooters suck less. Next Level Training, makers of SIRT training products. Henry Repeating Arms, made in America or not made at all. XS Sights, fast sights in any light. Meet the Pressers is also brought to you by these fine companies, shows, organizations, and our Patreon members. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Meet the Pressers. My name is Klint Macro, and this is my esteemed colleague, Matthew Mallory. Meet the Pressers is a safe place for trigger pressers to congregate and talk about guns, gear, gadgets, training, political activism, religion, you name it. It's fair game, and it's a safe place. Matt, I'd love for you to introduce our very special guest.
Yes, we have Theresa Inacker here with us, running for NRA Board, and she's going to talk about everything she has going on with that and see how we can support her and get her on the board. How are you?
Thank you. Great. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for being here.
Great.
So NRA Board, that's a
Yes.
big undertaking.
It is. This is probably, the most far-reaching effort I've ever engaged in as far as Second Amendment advocacy goes. So I'm on the NRA ballot. Should be coming out January 26th or so, and all through February and March. They're due back April 6th. Okay. And so we're on the slate, the reformer slate, NRA 2.0 as it's called.
I like that.
So yes.
NRA 2.0.
Yes, you're very active, as I understand, in New Jersey, your home state. Who was it that said, you got to do this and run for NRA? Who's the one that kind of pushed you and made you
Catalyst.
Amanda Suffolk.
Oh,
Amanda Suffolk.
She's good at
Amanda.
that.
She's, everybody wants to be Amanda Suffolk, and I want to be as cool as her. She's on the NRA board.
Yep.
She's a dynamic person. She's involved with Women for Gun Rights. I've worked with her in Women for Gun Rights for years, and so, she approached me about it and said, would you be interested in running? And I thought about it, and I said, sure, I think I'll do it.
Good.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, when you got Amanda behind you, then that's a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah, she's very good at seeing talent in someone and just giving a little bit of a push.
You can't say no to her. I don't know if you have realized that, but I realize you just can't say no to her. She's one of those people, and she's just fabulous. She's so talented and caring and warm, and she's a great people person. It's great to work with her. So yes, that was what did it.
Yeah, well, it's good to see that you're running. The NRA's been around since 1871, and there's been ups and downs.
Founded in New York State, by the way.
Yes, and the first Rangers were in Long Island, right? That's crazy to even think of that.
For sure.
But, there's been ups and downs throughout the history of the organization. An organization that long is going to have ups and downs because there's people involved, and people ultimately become political at some point. So, a lot of people think that the most recent kind of kerfuffle that has happened is like a new thing. It's not, but we do need some change here.
Yes.
And I'm glad to see, some of the other names here, some folks that we've had on the show and people that I personally worked with. Right. And these are good people.
Yes.
And we all care about that organization. I know Matt's a life member.
Absolutely.
I'm a life member. I don't think I can be a bigger life member unless I put him in my will, I think is how that works. We've been very big with promoting the education. Mm-hmm. Matt and I have been training counselors for years. I've done a lot of work at headquarters helping with that aspect of it.
Great.
But so many people in the gun industry, in the last year or so, they want to do this.
Right.
And that's the wrong thing to do, man.
Sure.
Right.
The NRA has such wonderful infrastructure and power. Mm-hmm.
And the name, the namesake in the sense.
Yeah, so I think it's people like you that are stepping up that we can help to support, and we can kind of right the ship and get things going. And the beauty is, in this interim, there have been some other organizations that have stepped up. Can you imagine if all of these other nationals and state level organizations and NRA, we all pulled together and came out as a unified voice?
Right.
Nothing scares politicians more than like-minded people and organizations that are separate but agree on a certain thing, and
Yes.
they're coming to them with an issue that needs to be solved.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So with the NRA, as far as the the reform, as we're calling it, 2.0,
Right.
There was so this will be the next election cycle since the I don't want to say coup,
Right,
But
right.
the 2.0 beginning. So
Right.
that was probably like 1.5. Excuse me. We're up to 2.0 now. So
Right.
with that 1.5 shift, what are we looking at? This is going to be the full like tipping point, because I know it's 9,800 members in the board or something like that. What's the
76.
76. It was a lot, right?
So I think there will be a substantial shift from what I understand, and it's actually already starting to move in the right direction. At the last board of directors meeting, I believe that they had committees that haven't met in years. Membership committee hadn't met in maybe 3 or 5 years, and other committees hadn't met in years that finally started to meet. And as a member myself, I find it outrageous that these committees weren't meeting and that they weren't being held accountable to the members for it. So the members are clamoring for this. I as well also thought, the NRA, this is so toxic lately. Like, why would we get involved? And so when Amanda asked me, I really had to think about it. I really had to think and make sure that we could, can we recover this, from within? And yes, we can. So I'm very optimistic. I think it's going in the right direction. I'm very proud to be a part of this slate. There's some really great people on here, and very, very optimistic.
As you're talking about that, I think of like rebuilding a kitchen or a porch, and you kind of like take off the sheetrock and you look at the wall and you're like, oh man, I didn't realize. I've been there, right? And you're like, geez, I don't really want to have to like tear the whole house down.
Right.
I've got structure. I've got floor's good. Just these studs need to be removed and getting out of here. Studs,
Right.
get it? Studs.
Right.
But
Right, and I think there are people that have been there 30 years and onwards, and the people who are trying to attack our rights are doing it in new and novel ways. They're using social media. They're just doing it in new ways, and we have to adapt to that. We have to have people who are involved and capable of meeting these people where they are and understanding how they're trying to undermine our rights. If you're still doing it the same way you were doing it 30 years ago, with all due respect, and I do respect them, it's just not going to cut it. We're not serving our members properly if we're not, upgrading ourselves and updating and trying to, attack back in those same ways. So I hope that I can bring a little bit of that,
I think she's Amanda 2.0. She's
Well,
feisty.
your knife has to be sharp in what you're dealing with in New Jersey. Absolutely.
I'm from New Jersey, so I am very feisty, and I've been tested, by the fire there. I really have. I mean, they come at us with everything, and somebody has to stand up. And of course, the Women for Gun Rights in New Jersey, I'm the state director. We've stood up as a group. I'm with the CNJFO, Coalition of New Jersey Firearm Owners. We've stood up and we've filed several lawsuits. We have another one that's coming up. Very exciting. So, the state attorney general is well aware of who we are, and because we fight back every time they take a measure, we respond, and we're trying to actually do some positive things there in terms of having people who are getting their permits to carry perhaps asked if they want to register to vote. We do this in New Jersey when people get their driver's licenses, they're prompted by the state, would you like to register to vote? And we said, well, why can't we do that when a hunter gets her hunter license? Or why can't we do this when somebody's getting a firearms purchase ID card or a permit to carry? So we're trying to work with Women for Gun Rights. We've met with one of our senators already. He loved the idea, so he's going to try to put a bill forward for that. So we're trying to get those new and novel ways. You have to be on your feet and try to keep up and try to get one step ahead of them as well.
Yeah, we've got 5 million gun owners in New York State. That would help.
Right. So
if they're not registered to vote, for sure.
Maybe get some friendly legislators if if they're willing to work with you. Try to have them, see if we can get the state to prompt them. If they can do it when somebody applies for some sort of, benefits, or if they're applying for, their driver's license and that sort of thing. They can do it.
For sure.
You can do it. We know you can do it. It's a matter of the will. So.
That's a great idea.
Those are great ways to get the gun owner to be more empowered to become part of the process.
Yes.
And an armed and educated citizenry is the true fourth check and balance, the ultimate check and balance in our constitutional republic.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm hoping that I can bring some new ideas. I think that I work well with grassroots as well. Definitely work, on litigation, trying to get cases filed, and really measuring, getting the community to communicate with our attorneys and people who are who wants to step up and be a plaintiff in this particular case. And so I've always had that connection and a nexus with the community, and I try to work as well with other national organizations too who've worked with us on cases. So I'm hoping I can bring a little bit of that unity and connection, and maybe a little bit more of, some new ideas to people who've been doing this, unfortunately, at the NRA for 30 or more years. It's time to update. So.
Very true. So how many slots are open, and how many candidates are running for those slots?
28 slots, and we have 28 candidates. So the slate is saying what you need to do is you need to check for all 28 candidates. Okay, that's the way we're running. We're not out for ourselves. So when I'm out here campaigning and trying to meet people and spread the message, I'm spreading it for the entire slate. You can check electanewNRA.com, and it will tell you exactly who each person is, their biographies and photos of everyone there. You can look at everybody and check them out. You can also get instructions on how to vote when you get your ballot.
And the 28 spots there's 28 current board members that are running for re-election? All of them, some of them?
Yeah, I think some of them. There may be 25 or fewer. I think there were a few that are out for sickness or other reasons that aren't running again, but yes. So we're going for the full slate. So definitely check out that site and get your instructions.
Huge wave.
Yeah.
We just had a huge wave yesterday.
Let's do it. Let's do this.
We've had a lot of these guys, these folks on this card, on the slate, on the show, and I've worked with them personally. I know you have too.
Great.
These are good people.
Good.
And these are folks that are going to put forth positive change that's going to help the membership, but ultimately help everyone's civil liberties.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. So go to electanewNRA.com or electanewNRA.com. I'll put that on the bottom on the nice title that we put in there.
Great. Love it.
And
thank you.
Awesome having you.
Awesome. Thanks for the time, guys.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much.
Thank you.
Check them out. Get involved.
I'm Kevin Michalowski, editor of Concealed Carry Magazine, and this is Meet the Pressers.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
Meet the Pressers.
Hello everybody, this is Klint Macro and Matt Mallory with Meet the Pressers, and we're here at SHOT Show 2025 in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada at the Next Level Training booth with our dear friends. You guys know who they are, but Matt's going to give an official introduction.
Absolutely, thanks Clint. So we got Mike Hughes and Britt Lentz. These guys are amazing, awesome products. We love hanging out with them and seeing all the new stuff they have going on, which they have some new stuff we're going to talk about. Guys, tell us what's going on.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Well, a lot of what's going on is a lot of the same old, because I know new stuff, people get addicted to new things, new this, new that. But I mean, let's just not ignore some basics.
Basic fundamentals.
Yeah, just basic fundamentals. And there's a lot of fuel to plow just if the basics of getting people to do short little trainings, uncalibrated, unwarmed up, work your next point of aim, work your sighted fire from further distance, work some manipulation, I think pushing a little bit more education this year, some relationships there. So people, like we're talking just before off camera, so people do things in that space outside the range. And what's that space called outside the range?
The real world.
The real world. The real world where it's 360, the real world where there's high angle shots, maybe taking kneeling shots. Real world where you got barricades and you got cover, and you got to know the difference between those two. Cover,
and
concealment.
A whole host of other human beings that we might not even know that they're over there.
Moving no shoots. So we're really looking at growing instructors to have better curriculums, to have better tools, to start to really more aggressively encroach in that sphere of discussion of, we're not taking anything away from the range, but hitting a lot more training off the range, which really, quite frankly, I know it's kind of a bold statement, but is more akin to what they're going to hit and face in the real world.
Yeah, well, especially as an instructor that is a businessman, ultimately, having a program where you utilize the SIRT Pistol, what I've always said is one of the great things about the product is they don't need a range environment to do education or to teach a class.
Yeah.
And, if you have a multi-million-dollar range and you got people using it and paying the hourly fee on it, it costs a lot to shut that down to do a class. So to be able to supplement and use that classroom to get some more of that training done, and then really use that also as a funnel to sell people on the live fire class, so it's fully booked when you actually do shut your range down to put the class on.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to mention, a a lot of new people, a lot of new gun owners want to be educated before they buy a gun.
Yeah,
So if
very
you're
true.
teaching a live fire class always, you might be missing out on a new customer because they don't own a gun yet, but they don't want to buy it until they've actually got some training.
Yep, they're a little bit gun curious, and yeah, exactly.
Two new products that we do have out that we haven't talked about yet that I don't think anybody has known this yet is the 19X basically, right? Full frame, short slide, and then also the Glock 49. So the functional features thereof, obviously both of them are the functional features of. It's the 115C, 115S, 115SC. So those are our two new ones that we have brand new, obviously with the ORS setup, and two new products we're excited about. The 19X, our version is actually the 115CS. Is getting quite popular. We're seeing overseas, we're seeing a huge push for it in Italy and other places. So it's very exciting. Yeah.
You guys have the red dot window that you could pop in there. Do you have one now that you can actually mount here on?
There is someone we are meeting with tomorrow.
Oh, okay, that's what Trot Show is all about, right?
Yeah, exactly. That is making a training red dot for the SIRT. And it will obviously be price appropriate, but yet built to the hilt. And we'll see. I'm hoping tomorrow the meeting goes well. And if so, we'll be able to offer it with a very functional, beautiful red dot on top of here. So yeah.
Also, nowadays, generally optics get more popular. People replace them. You know, they can put their older red dot on here.
Oh, sure,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. But we want to give people a wide array to work with their optics. Wide array choices.
And you guys are definitely revolutionary with the tools and teaching people, especially inclement weather. You know, you guys being in Washington, New York. I mean, he's got fairer weather than we do in New York and in Washington.
It's minus 4 degrees currently in western Pennsylvania.
Wow. Still cold, which is like unheard of, right?
Yeah.
But
Well, it's
you know, in that
global
case,
warming,
being
I
able to practice inside with the tools you guys create just makes it better shooter, right? And when it comes down to it, saving lives, being able to protect yourself, keep yourself safe, so you have those reps, that neural pathways.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's work all those manipulation skills. Of course, you got to go to the range, get recoil, right, and slide lock stimulus, malfunction, recognition, clearance. Those are non-negotiables. Training on the range, but yeah, all the manipulation skills off range and crank it, working hard. So we're excited. We're just excited.
Yeah. As I understand it, you have developed a new course that the United States Concealed Carry Association is going to adopt into their stable of programs.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I really do. So basically, we have just a lot of experience putting on these SIRT implementation classes to a lot of federal agencies and then a lot of end users. It's a wide array. And what we find the hurt out there is so many instructors don't really have access to the range. And sometimes it's instructors, they just need some more just real base education. They put them in a position where they can put on a course with substantive confidence. So the deliverable of this course, it's an instructor development course. So instructor can substantively confidently put on 6 2-hour blocks of instruction with the SIRT pistol anywhere. I mean, nearly anywhere. We just have an exclusive area, not necessarily on the range. And you can work all your draws and your trigger control and manipulation and things you can't do on the range, like moving no shoots with our progressor drill, our capstone drill, which is very popular, having moving no shoots. It's all in the manual. So we're excited about this. And excited about the strong relationship with USCCA and their backing behind this and support and adoption, because there's so much mutual gain here, because they're looking for solutions for their instructor corps.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful relationship between us, USCCA, and instructors as a trinity to give 3 prongs of support for the stool of just really helping these end users. So excited about this.
I like that it's multiple sessions.
Yeah.
You know, you've always said this with your shorter trainings, and of course it's definitely there's a lot of science, if we want to say that out there, that says shorter sessions more often lead to better knowledge retention, as opposed to that old 8-10 hours on the range and just like plow through it.
To that end, Klint, yes, and what's a little bit different on this is you can almost treat this, an instructor and the end users can treat this more almost like a Bible study. I use that because you can come right after work. Sure. People don't even have to own a gun yet.
Yes.
All right, so an instructor can really broaden out their reach, and they come in, and what we like to say, because it's SIRT pistol, there's training here for proper safety checks, no live fire tools in there. We say, hey, look, we have a lot of safety protocol here, but the odds of you getting in trauma, an accident, driving here is probably 100 times more than anything in this course. So good students get a lot, they get ease on that, and they can just train very effectively. And a lot of instructors can put on very instructive coaching and modules, good progressions, diagnose issues, even do some recoil acclimation off the range, like a few things, get them tuned in, make sure their grips are solid, their grip establishment. They say, I'll kill you with detail at that point, but which I don't want to do. So it's really good. It's really good. Super excited.
Yeah,
super excited.
A program like this can really lead to bringing in more students and more customers to those instructors. You've got younger folks that want to learn before they buy.
Yep.
But also a lot of the older folks that are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, probably something bad happened in their life for them to want to get a gun. And so they're dealing with that fear and that inhibition and stuff, the baggage that everyone carries, and having basically an inert device to learn basic skill sets is much more comforting for them.
Yep.
And then they can develop confidence before they actually start using the live fire.
Absolutely. It really fills an interesting void that we've seen for decades, and it's not. Low barrier to entry is the arc of the course. Low barrier to entry for the instructor to be able to. A lot of work up front, but once you get that knowledge, you can put it on anywhere without cost, make it very revenue generating, and low barrier to entry for the student. They can come in, they don't have to own a gun, they don't have to bring anything, they don't have to pack they don't need mags, they don't need the ammo, they don't need to pack, they just get off the bank or the paint shop, wherever they're working, show up with everyone, a little camaraderie gets built, 5:45 it starts, 7:45 break, and it's beautiful. We've done a lot of test classes, and I'm incredibly pleased with the results. Good. Incredibly pleased.
We're looking forward to being able to teach it.
Yeah, you guys are invited to the compound where we do the 3-day submersive instructor development. But I'll learn more from you guys, and I'll teach you. But.
So when are you going to offer a package deal where they get a bundle of SIRT pistols and then all the lumber to build their own pole barn?
With the track.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something, right?
It would be.
Yeah, it should be a compilation of all the pole barn building. I get more comments on the pole barn I put on social media than anything else. It's great. It's good. It's inspirational.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Those of you that don't know, Mike has a sawmill and he's making his own barns and buildings and with his own wood that he's sawed.
I'll make it a 15 by 20 for my beloved wife. So that's very cosmopolitan within the structure.
That's awesome. Well, we're always happy to have you on. Always awesome catching up with you guys at the shows and stuff. So we appreciate everything you've done for us. And check them out. Give them your business.
Yeah, and look on the internet for Next Level Timber.
Wow. Next Level Timber.
Hello, my name is Klint Macro, co-founder and administrator of National Train a Teacher Day. National Train a Teacher Day is a grassroots movement of volunteer firearms, safety, first aid, and defense instructors that offer free training to teachers, school staff, administrators, and those that work with youth in a leadership capacity. We do this every year on National Train a Teacher Day. This year marks the 8th annual National Train a Teacher Day, and we'll be observing it on Saturday, June 21st, 2025. That's Saturday, June 21st, 2025. Over the years, hundreds of volunteer instructors have trained thousands of teachers, school staff, administrator, and those that work with youth in a leadership capacity. If you fit that bill, or if you know someone that does, we encourage you to visit or have them visit the website, which is nationaltrainateacherday.com, and connect with a local instructor and take advantage of this fantastic free training opportunity. We'd like to thank our volunteers, our partners, and our sponsors for helping make National Train a Teacher Day a success each year. But most of all, we want to thank you, the teachers, school staff, administrators, and youth leaders who take the time to empower themselves with information to better protect those that they educate, and that is our children. Visit the website, spread the word, and we will see you on National Train a Teacher Day, Saturday, June 21st, 2025. Thanks.
There's lots of sponsors that make this show possible, like Mantis, Next Level Training, Blake Henry,
like
XS Sights.
check them out and give them your business.
Meet the Pressers is brought to you by Mantis. Mantis X helps shooters suck less. Next Level Training. Makers of SIRT training products. Henry Repeating Arms. Made in America or not made at all. XS Sights. Fast sights in any light. Meet the Pressers is also brought to you by these fine companies, shows, organizations, and our Patreon members. Thank you.
Thanks for watching the show.
Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and click that little bell thingy so you know when the next episode's coming out. Support us on Patreon. Come to one of our classes. Host us to come to you and do one of our classes at your location.
And until next time,
Adieu.
Thank you for watching Meet the Pressers.